Interchange 3, Unit 1. That's what friends are for. So, we're going to start with Interchange 3. Number 1, we're going to have the system, the vocab book in the beginning, but will not use Arabic, no Arabic at all. We have the words in English and we have to keep the meaning in English. This is number 1. Number 2, it's very important for all the students to study hard and not to wait for any translation in Arabic. Try to listen without subtitles, without Arabic. This is the intermediate level. This is level number 10. Intermediate 1, level 10. Interchange 3 for sedition. Unit 1. Qualities. Qualities, T soft D. Qualities. Adjectives, earn, gain. A sense, feeling. Humor. Humor, laughter. Laughter. GH as fast sound, laughter. Look for, search for. Physical attractiveness. Warmth. Warm, and then the TH sound, warmth. To have warm feelings. To have warm feelings. So here, when somebody has warm feelings, it means he's very kind. Affection, love, skills, abilities, sensitivity, kindness, passion, a very powerful feeling. Passion, a very powerful feeling. Selfish, someone who thinks of his own advantage. Someone who thinks of his own advantage. Selfish, selfishness, thinking in your own advantage. Thinking in your own advantage. Selfishness. Practicality. Practicality, effectiveness. Practicality, effectiveness. Practical, effective. Practical, effective. Playfulness, to be funny and not serious. Playfulness, to be funny and not serious. Aspects. Elements. Aspects, elements. 2. Guy, a person, somebody. Guy, a person, somebody. A date, a romantic meeting. A date, a romantic meeting. To date, to have a romantic meeting. To have a romantic meeting. To date, to have a romantic meeting. Serious, not funny. A sense of humor, very funny. A sense of humor, very funny. Would prefer, it'd prefer. Like I'd prefer, I'd like. Would like, it'd like. I'd like, I'd like. It'd like means would like. To be, this is exercise number 2, part B, the listening of the conversation. The verdict, judgment, an opinion or decision made after judging the facts. 3. A boss, manager. Considerate, kind and helpful. 4. Sociable, O as a sound in American, sociable. A person who enjoys being with other people. Outgoing, sociable, outgoing. Intolerant, a person who won't accept other people's differences. Intolerant, a person who won't accept other people's differences. Modest, humble. Modest, A person who doesn't brag about his or her accomplishments. Accomplishments, achievements. So modest, a person who doesn't brag about his or her accomplishments. Humble. Temperamental. Temperamental. Moody. Temperamental, moody. A person who had unpredictable or irregular moods. Temperamental. A person who has unpredictable or irregular moods. Moody. Egotistical. Remember the word ego. Egotistical. A person who expresses a very high opinion of him or herself. So egotistical, a person who expresses a very high opinion of him or herself. So expresses high opinion of himself.
Stingy, stingy, stingy.
Miser. And generous. A person who doesn't like giving things to people. A person who doesn't like giving. A person who doesn't like to give anything. So this is ungenerous, not generous. Ungenerous, un means not. Ungenerous, not generous. Miser. Unreliable. Unreliable, a person who doesn't do what he or she promised. Unreliable, a person who doesn't do what he or she promised. Supportive, helpful and encouraging. Supportive, helpful and encouraging. Also supportive. This is, I could make the T a soft D here. Supportive, helpful and encouraging. Easygoing, relaxed. A person who doesn't worry much. A person who doesn't get angry easily. So easygoing, a person who doesn't get angry easily. He is a relaxed person. A person who doesn't worry much. Outgoing, sociable. 4. Brag. Brag, to speak too proudly about what you've done. To speak too proudly about what you've done. Accomplishments, achievements. 5. A feast. Banquet. A feast, banquet. Hard to predict. Hard to predict. Difficult to expect. Hard to predict. Difficult to expect. 6. Parent. A father or mother. A parent, a father or mother. Upset. Frustrated. Upset. Frustrated. 7. Accountant. Follow up. You have to know that in interchange 3, you're gonna find a lot of words. So, be serious. Study hard. Interchange 3 is the highest, is the best for intermediate. You will have a lot of words. These words are in listening, in conversations, so please study hard. You have to study and keep the words before you start to listen to the explanations of the unit. Wish you all good luck. Unit 1. That's what friends are for. Unit 1. Snapshot. Love and marriage in North America. What women look for a partner? Look for a partner. Here, look at the picture. What do you see? This is like a wedding. Maybe this is like a preparation for marriage party. A young man and a young lady. She's having some flowers. bride and groom. The man is the groom. Woman, bride. This unit we talk about friendship and the relationship between people, like man and woman. What women look for in a partner? Women, they search for what? In a future husband, like husband and wife, a future husband and a future wife. They search for what? Women search for love, someone who loves her, understanding, conversation, her conversation, dialogue, someone who can talk to her and understands her. Time together, to have good time together. Positive attitude. What means positive? You have good attitude, good opinion about her. A positive attitude, good opinion about her. Good listener, can listen to her problems, can listen to her, can give her opinions. A person who can give her opinions. Affection. When we have affection, you have love. Responsibility at home. To be responsible at home. Okay, this is not easy. To be responsible at home, to help her at home. Free time. They search for someone who has free time, who can dedicate, who can take part of his time for her, for having fun, for going shopping together, for hanging out together, going to the movies together. Of course, the husband, the wife, and the kids and their children. Good health. Someone who's in good health. This is very important. Someone who's in good health. This is what women look for in a partner, in a future husband. They search for these qualities in a future husband. But what about men? What men look for in a partner? Men search for what qualities in a future wife? For a future wife, men look for, they search for, 1. To have a belief in his capabilities. Abilities. Someone who encourages him. Men need someone to encourage them. Wives to encourage them, to support them, to believe in them. Understanding, they can understand them. Compliments. A person, a wife who can give compliments to him, to say sweet words to him. Acceptance. Someone who can accept him as he is. Direct conversation. Someone who can tell him what's in her heart. She can tell him the truth without lying. She can be honest. Affection. We have good affection, good relationship. We have love, respect. Free time. Free time to go together. Watching TV, go to the movies. Take the kids to the park go to the club together with their kids. Trust. Someone that they can trust. Companionship. 10. Companionship. Someone who can be your companion. Companion like a friend. You have your companion in all your life. From the moment of marriage to death. Till the end of their lives. So, what qualities do both men and women look for in their partners? We said that. In your opinion, which of the things above are most important to look for in a partner? What are the most important things? If you want to look for a future husband or a future wife. Love. Of course, understanding. Understanding is very important. A positive attitude. Positive opinion is very important to you. And good health. What men look for in a partner? Think affection. Affection is very important. Trust. Trust. Not to be jealous all the time. Trust is very important. Understanding. Are there other important qualities missing from the list? What other important qualities women look for? A wealthy husband, wealthy future husband, or at least someone who has a good income. A person who has a steady job, stable job. A person who has a flat. So they search for this also, for money sometimes, yes. Not only good health and good wealth. Men look for a partner. They look for what? They search for homemaking abilities, social skills. They like their wives to have good social skills, to be sociable. Warmth and affection. They hope their wives have very good affection. They can understand them. Most of men look for beautiful young ladies. To be beautiful. Also, women, they look for a future husband, a partner who has leadership qualities, who has a sense of humor, who is funny, who has job skills, and is very successful in his life.
Interchange, 4th edition, by Jack C. Richards with Jonathan Hull and Susan Proctor. This class audio program contains recordings that correspond to Level 3 students' book. Published by Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyrighted. CD 1. Unit 1. That's what friends are for. Page 2, Exercise 2, Conversation. I like guys who... Part A. Listen and practice.
Do you have a date for your friend's wedding yet?
Actually, no, I don't. Do you know anyone I could go with?
What kind of guys do you like?
Oh, I like guys who aren't too serious and who have a good sense of humor. You know, someone like you.
Okay. What else?
Well, I'd prefer someone I have something in common with, who I can talk to easily.
I think I know just the guy for you. Bob Branson. Do you know him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I'll ask him to meet us for coffee, and you can tell me what you think.
Chris and Cam. So here, look at the picture. What do you see? A young man and young lady, and they're talking. They're having a conversation. The young man is thinking about someone else, and maybe they're talking about him. Talking. I can make the G silent in English when I have ing, like doing, talking. Chris and Cam. Chris, do you have a date for your friend's wedding yet? Wedding. What's a wedding? A wedding, a marriage party. Actually, no, I don't. Do you know anyone I could go with? Do you know anybody I could go to the wedding with? Wedding, marriage party. Actually, no, I don't. Do you know anyone I could go with? What kind of guys do you like? What kinds of future husbands do you like? What kinds of young men do you like? Oh, I like guys who are not too serious, who aren't too serious. Not serious, funny, who have a good sense of humor. Humor, laughter, to laugh. You know, someone like you. Okay, What else? What else? T soft D. What else? Well, I'd prefer someone if something in common with. I'd prefer someone who is similar to me, who I can talk to easily, who is honest, and I can talk to him easily. I think he's similar to me. I think I know just the guy. I know this person for you. Bob Branson. Do you know him? Do you know Bob? No, I don't think so. Okay. I'll ask him to meet us for coffee. So I'll ask Bob Branson to meet us for coffee, and you can tell him what do you think. Now here, let's answer some questions. Does Kim have a date for her friend's wedding? No, she doesn't. What kind of guys does Kim like? She likes guys who aren't too serious and who have a good sense of humor. She likes guys who have good sense of humor. What else? Kim likes guys. Kim would prefer someone who has something in common with. She would prefer someone she can talk to easily. Who is this guy? This is similar to Chris. But for Chris, he suggested Bob Branson. What will Chris do? Chris will ask Bob Branson to meet Cam for coffee. And they can talk together Maybe they're gonna get married at the end. B. Listen to Chris and Kim discuss Bob after they met for coffee. How did Kim like him? What do you think? Will Kim like him or not?
Page 2, Exercise 2, Part B. Listen to Chris and Kim discuss Bob after they met for coffee. How did Kim like him?
So, what's the verdict? What did you think of Bob?
Well, I was worried at first, especially when I saw that he rode a huge motorcycle. I thought he might be one of those guys who is into heavy metal music and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But he's just a regular kind of guy, right?
Yeah, we got along really well.
I knew you'd like him.
Yeah, I do. And he's really funny. He had me laughing so hard at the coffee shop, remember? I think the people sitting next to us thought we were crazy.
So, are you two gonna get together again?
Definitely. In fact, we're going to the wedding together.
That's great.
How did Kim like him? Did Kim like him? Yes, she liked him a lot. But what was her first impression? In the beginning, she was afraid. She was frightened. She thought that he was riding a huge motorcycle. What is the problem? Yes, the problem is that in the USA, there are some people who used to ride huge motorcycles, and they make gangs, and they were shared in violent actions in 1970s in the USA. So she was afraid he's a guy who likes to listen to heavy metal music, and he is very violent guy, very violent person. But she found a very good, regular, nice, funny guy. He was very funny. She laughed hysterically at the coffee shop, that the people thought that they are crazy, and he was very nice. That was her verdict. Verdict, the final judgment. Verdict, final judgment. At the end, Kim
Exercise 3, Grammar Focus. Relative pronouns. As the subject of a clause.
I like guys who aren't too serious. I like guys that aren't too serious.
I like guys who have a good sense of humor. I like guys that have a good sense of humor.
As the object of a clause.
I'd prefer someone I have fun with. I'd prefer someone who I have fun with. I'd prefer someone that I have fun with.
I'd prefer someone I can talk to easily. I'd prefer someone who I can talk to easily. I'd prefer someone that I can talk to easily.
Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns. As the subject of a clause. I like guys who aren't too serious. So here, I like guys. Those guys aren't too serious. So we use who? We use the relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are or are, who, which, that, whose. So all of these are relative pronouns. In this unit, we will have who. Who for people. I like guys who aren't too serious. So I like guys, those guys aren't too serious. So here we delete the subject. those guys or the guys, and we use who plus the verb. I like guys. Those guys have a good sense of humor. So I like guys who have a good sense of humor. So here, subject, you remove the subject and we write who. Okay. Also, we can use that because that replaces who. This is number one. Here we use who as the subject of a clause. As the object of a clause, we use who as the object of a clause. Once an object in the sentence, you have subject, verb, object. I'd prefer someone who I have fun with. I'd prefer someone I have fun with someone. So here the repeated word someone, we remove someone and we use who to make a link between the two sentences. But here who replaces the object. I'd prefer someone who I have fun with. I'd prefer someone that I have fun with. That replaces who. I'd prefer someone I can talk to easily. So the repeated word here, someone. I'd prefer someone I can talk to him easily. So here, him, the object. So we use who. I'd prefer someone who I can talk to easily. That replaces who. I'd prefer someone that I can talk to easily. And of course, we remove the object, him. We remove the repeated word and we use who to make a link between the two sentences. This is good, of course, but you have to know something. That we use that in informal, in speaking. But we use who, yes, in speaking and in writing. But that in speaking. When you write an essay, an article, a paragraph, use who. Try not to use that.
Now, our grammar today is about relative pronouns. Now, we have three main relative pronouns that we're going to look at today, which are who, that, and which. Now, we use these relative pronouns to combine two clauses together. Now, what's a clause? Well, a clause is a sentence with a subject and a verb. So basically, it's a sentence, right? It's a sentence. Now, something that we need to know about these relative pronouns is that they're used for different reasons. In the context of people, when we're talking about people, we need to use the relative pronoun who. If we're talking about people or things, we can use that. So that is very flexible. It goes for both. And if I'm talking about things, I need to use the relative pronoun which. Okay. So let's look at our sentence here. It says, I like friends. Okay? And then another sentence, they are honest. So if we see that I have something in common between these two sentences, and that's friends and they. So when this happens, I can combine these two clauses, I can combine these two sentences together, but I need to use a relative pronoun. So how can I do this? Here's the answer. I like friends who are honest. Okay? So basically what I did is I took my subject and my second clause, they, and I replaced it with my relative pronoun who. Okay? So basically I'm just replacing the subject in the second sentence with my relative pronoun. and I combine the sentence together to read like this. I like friends who are honest. And if I look, this is my relative clause because it contains my relative pronoun, who. And if we look at the relative clause, the subject of the sentence is who. So that's using it as the subject of a sentence. Let's take a look at another one. For example, 2 sentences. I prefer friends. They are fun. Again, same idea. I have friends and they. That's my common word. And I'm going to combine them. I'm going to take away my subject they. And I'm going to use a relative pronoun. And it's going to read like this. I prefer friends that are fun. Again, because it's people, I can use who, or I can use that, because that is very flexible. I can use it for people or things. And again, all I did was take away the subject from the second sentence, and I replaced it with that, my relative pronoun. And I combined it together to read, I prefer friends that are fun. Okay, so that's what it looks like when I'm using the relative pronoun as the subject of the relative clause. But we can also do this with an object. For example, the relative pronoun as the object. So let's read our first sentence here. It says, I like the type of friends, I can trust them. Again, let's look. Friends is the common factor, and them is the common word. Now, them in my second sentence is not the subject. It's the object of the sentence. The subject is I. I can trust them. So them is the object. And that's what I'm going to take away. I'm going to use my relative pronoun in place of the word them. So how's this going to sound? For example, I like the type of friends who I can trust. So I took the word them and I replaced it with my relative pronoun who. But I put it before my subject. And this is basically going to act as the object of the sentence. And I read it like this. I like the type of friends who I can trust. Now, when this happens, when I'm using the object as the relative pronoun, because this is technically the object of my relative clause, it's optional. I do not have to use it. So I can read the sentence like this. I like the type of friends I can trust. And I don't need to use the relative pronoun. But this is only when I'm using the object as the relative pronoun. Let's look at the second sentence. The second sentence reads, I want friends. Next sentence, I can depend on them. Again, friends and them is the common factor. I'm going to take away the word them and replace it with the relative pronoun, and it's going to look like this. I want friends that I can depend on. Okay? Again, I'm taking my object, them, replacing it with my relative pronoun, that. And again, because this is the object of my relative clause, I don't need to use it. It's optional. I can read it this way. I want friends I can depend on. And that's completely fine. That's completely okay. So this is what it looks like as the object of the relative clause, using my relative pronouns. Okay, here's some things not to do. So don't repeat the subject and object in the relative clause. So what does this mean? Well, let's look. Don't do this. I like friends who they are sincere. No. You cannot use the relative pronoun and the subject again. You don't need to repeat your subject. This, technically, is the subject of the sentence. So I'm going to read it like this. I like friends who are sincere. Okay? I do not need to repeat the subject. It's completely wrong to do that. Also, when it's the object, for example, the second sentence, let's look at this one. I like friends that I can go out with them. No, don't use that. Why? Because I've already used that here. That's the object. So I'm going to read it like this. I like friends that I can go out with. Okay? I don't need to repeat the object there. All right. So, again, don't repeat the subject or the object in the relative clause. Here's something to remember. Okay, remember to use the preposition if one is needed. Okay? We don't always use prepositions, but when there is a preposition, I need to use it. So in this context, let's read this sentence. I want a friend. I can talk to him easily. Okay? Now, here's my preposition that I need to think about. And in this context, I'm removing friend and him, right? So in this context, I'm going to read it like this. I want a friend who I can talk to easily. Remember, I don't need to remove that preposition. It's very important that I'm still using that preposition. This is the only part that I'm taking away. And when I replace it, I still need to use my preposition though. Okay? Use the preposition. Here's another example. I'd like to meet a friend. I have fun with her. So we're going to combine this, right? We're going to take away her, and we're going to read it like this. I'd like to meet a friend that I can have fun with. Again, I need to use that preposition still. Okay? Here is our last example. It's nice to have friends. You can buy presents for them. Again, I'm going to take away this as the object. I'm going to read it like this. It's nice to have friends who you can buy presents for. Again, this for needs to be used again. Okay? Now, it might sound a little bit weird, but this is completely normal to do in English. Okay? If you don't use the preposition, it actually does sound incorrect. Okay. So, I hope this was helpful with understanding how we use relative pronouns, both as the subject and the object of the relative clause. Thanks for listening.
A. Match the information in columns A and B, then compare with a partner. You have here A, B. We have two columns. We try to match them. 1 minute, try to answer. You answer first. In every exercise, you should do that. You answer first, you stop the video, make a pause. Then you start to answer, you finish. Then you continue to listen to the answers. 1. I don't want to have a partner who, that, D. I have nothing in common with. 2. I enjoy teachers who, or that. Who or that help me understand things easily. So this is number 2A. 3. I'd prefer a roommate. I'd prefer a roommate who or that G is quiet, considerate and neat. Someone who's quiet, who's not noisy. A person who's considerate, neat, organized, well organized, tidy. 4. I don't like to be with people who, or that. I don't like to be with people who. F. I don't feel comfortable around. 5. I discuss my problems. I discuss my problems with friends who, or that. I discuss my problems with friends who or that can give me good advice. Can give me good advice. 6. I'd like to have a boss who or that. Boss, manager. I want to have a manager Who or that? A boss. Who is that? Who is what? What is the boss like? B. Who I respect as a leader. So I'd like to have a boss who I respect as a leader. I like to meet people who have good sense of humor. I like to meet people who or that have good sense of humor. Number C. After we match, you check your answers. Put a line through who, that in part A. If it's optional, then compare with a partner. C. Pair work. Complete the sentences in column A with your own information. Do you and your partner have similar opinions? Here, in this exercise, you and your friend are going to make a conversation like that way. Like, for example, you complete the group A, like say, I don't want to have a partner who is noisy. We said, of course, D, I have nothing in common with. So I am gonna say a partner who is miser, who is not generous. So you complete by yourself. I enjoy teachers who are helpful, who help me understand things easily. But you can say I enjoy teachers who are very funny. I enjoy teachers who are helpful. I enjoy teachers who simplify the information for me. I'd prefer a roommate who is quiet and neat. I'd prefer a roommate who isn't noisy. I'd prefer a roommate who is funny. I don't like to be with people who are selfish, who are egotistical. I discuss my problems with friends who can give me advice. I discuss my problems with friends who are trustworthy, who I can trust them, who I can trust. I discuss my problems with friends who I can trust. I'd prefer to have a boss who is flexible, who is nice, who is not strict, who is friendly. I like to meet people who are nice, who are gentle, who have good manners. Four, word power personalities. A. Match the words with the definitions, then decide whether the words are positive, P, or negative, N. Write P or N after each word. So in this exercise, we have different words. You match the word in group A, in column A, with the definitions, with the meaning in part B, in this part. Then you write it's N. It's N, negative, or P, positive. Positive, good word. N, negative, bad word. 1. Easygoing. Easygoing, H. Easygoing, H. A person who doesn't worry much or get angry easily. So number 1, H. A person who doesn't worry much or get angry easily. So is easygoing, relaxed. 2. You try to answer first. Ego. egotistical. Egotistical. C. Someone who has a very high opinion of him or herself. Egotistical. Someone who has a very high opinion of him or herself. So egotistical, C, and this word is negative. Someone who's selfish, who thinks that he's somebody. He's arrogant. Arrogant. This is negative. Arrogant, selfish. 4. Modest. Modest, positive or negative? Modest, humble. Positive. Of course, this is number I. Someone who doesn't brag about his or her accomplishments. Someone who is not proud. Brag about, proud of his or her achievements. Accomplishments, achievements. Accomplishments, achievements. So, modest, I. 5. 5. Sociable. Sociable, this is of course positive. Sociable, friendly. F. A person who enjoys being with other people. So, sociable, F. A person who enjoys being with other people. And this is positive. P, F, B. 6.
Stingy, stingy, stingy.
This is means
Stingy.
which means miser. Miser. Not generous, ungenerous. This is negative.
Stingy, stingy, stingy.
He's someone
Stingy.
who doesn't like giving. Someone who doesn't like giving anything to people. So stingy. Someone who doesn't like sharing. B. Someone who doesn't like sharing. Temperamental. Temperamental, moody. Temperamental, moody. This is of course negative. Someone who changes his mood. A temperamental is a person who doesn't do what he or she promised. So temperamental, E. A person who doesn't do what he or she promised. 9. Unreliable. Unreliable, not reliable. It means you cannot trust him or her. So, unreliable, number 9. E. A person who doesn't do what he or she promised. A person who doesn't do what he or she promised. Yes, here, sorry for the word inflexible. Number 3, inflexible. What does inflexible mean? Inflexible, A. A person who doesn't change easily and is stubborn. Stubborn. Stubborn, inflexible, not flexible. So it's number A. Number 3A. Now B, pair work. Cover definitions. Take turns talking about the adjectives in your own words. You cover these definitions and you start to give the meaning, to tell your friends the meaning by yourself. Like an easygoing person is someone who is relaxed, okay, who doesn't worry much or get angry easily. So I can say an easygoing is a person who is relaxed. Temperamental is a person who is moody. A person who changes his temper, who changes his mood. You start to give the answer in your own words. C. Per word. Think of at least 2 adjectives to describe yourself, then tell a partner. So, what about you? Who are you? What are you like? So you say, for example, I am supportive, I am sociable, I am modest, I am easygoing, I am egotistical and inflexible, I am temperamental, I am unreliable. Exercise 5, listening. What are they like? Here in this exercise, you listen to conversations that describe 3 people. Are the descriptions positive P or negative N? Check through the box. So in this exercise, number 1, you listen to the conversation. You choose P or N, positive or negative. You will not have the qualities or the adjectives. No. You will have situations about people and you understand. From your understanding, you write N or P. This is number 1. Number 2, this is part B. You listen again. You will have only to listen to 1 time and you write the 2 adjectives. What is this person like? He is what? You write the adjective from listening. You will not find the adjective. For example, Andrea. You will not listen. Andrea is sociable or Andrea is generous. No, you will not listen like this. You will listen to other things. For example, this person doesn't like to give. He cares for money. So that means he is miser. He is ungenerous. Listen.
Page 4, Exercise 5, Listening. What are they like? Part A. Listen to conversations that describe 3 people. Are the descriptions positive, P, or negative, N? Check the box. 1. Andrea.
So, have you seen Andrea lately?
Yeah, I see her once in a while.
How's she doing? I've been meaning to call her.
Well, to be honest, she's kind of been getting on my nerves lately.
What do you mean?
She's changed a lot since we've started college. She talks about herself all the time, and she always manages to mention how good she is at everything she does.
Really? That would be annoying.
It is. You know, she asked me to be roommates with her next semester, but I don't think I want to live with her. She used to be really generous, but now she's just the opposite. And it's not just with money, but her time as well.
Well, college can be stressful. You 2 are good friends. Maybe you need to talk more.
Andrea brags. She brags about her accomplishments, her achievements. She mentions, she says all the time, she's a good person. She's a successful person. She joined the university. So, this is egotistical. Andrea used to be generous. She likes to give. In the past, she used to give. She used to help. But now she's the opposite. She doesn't like to give money or time. So Andrea is a person who doesn't like to give. Is miser. Is ungenerous. So Andrea, egotistical, ungenerous, miser. James.
2. James.
Are you going to James's party on Saturday?
Of course. James always gives the best parties, and there are always lots of interesting new people to meet.
It's true. I don't know where he manages to find them all.
Well, you know what he's like. He makes friends very easily. He really likes talking to people, and he loves inviting people over.
Uh-huh. He invited me for dinner last Saturday. What a feast.
Yeah, he's a great cook, too.
After dinner, I offered to help clean up, and he told me not to worry about it. He said he'd take care of it later. He was like, it's nothing, no big deal.
Yep, that sounds like James.
James. What's James like? James likes talking to people. James likes making parties. James likes to have the best parties, and he's a great chef, a great cook. So James is sociable, friendly. This is James. This is positive. James also is easygoing. Why? Because when his friend asked to help him after the end of the party, he said, it's like nothing, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. So he's easygoing, sociable. Easygoing, sociable, positive. 3.
3. Mr. Johnson.
Have you met the new apartment manager? Mr. Johnson? Yeah, I met him last week. He's a little strange. Yeah, he is. I'm not sure I like him. He's hard to predict. Sometimes he's pretty cheerful and talkative, and the next day he doesn't even say hello. I think he must have personal problems or something. I think you're right. And have you noticed that half the time when he says he's going to do something, he never actually does it? He told me 3 times he'd come to fix the light in my kitchen, and he still hasn't done it.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson is moody. Sometimes he's talkative, sociable, and very nice. On the second day, he doesn't even say hello. So this is moody. Also, Mr. Johnson is unreliable, not reliable. He's not trustworthy. He said 3 times that he would fix the light in the kitchen, but he never does that. So he's unreliable. Unreliable, you cannot trust him. So here, Mr. Johnson, moody, unreliable, of course, negative. These adjectives, these qualities are negative. So number 1, Andrea, egotistical, ungenerous, stingy, miser. 2, James, easygoing, sociable, positive. 3, Mr. Johnson, moody, unreliable, negative. Unit 1, exercise 6. Discussion, ideal parent, ideal perfect, ideal people, perfect people. What is the ideal parent? What is the ideal father or mother? Friend or partner like? What is the ideal husband? What is the ideal wife? What is he like or what is she like? describes the person, the character, the personality. What is one quality each should have and one quality each shouldn't have? What is the adjective or the quality that the person must have, and another quality this person, the father or the friend or the partner, mustn't have? The ideal parent is the ideal father or the ideal mother. This person is the ideal mother is generous, kind, nice, helpful. But the ideal mother isn't strict. The ideal mother is not ungenerous, isn't miser. The ideal father is funny. The ideal father is not moody. The ideal friend helpful, honest, trustworthy. The ideal friend is not. The ideal friend is not a traitor to trade you, to stab you in your back. The ideal friend mustn't be a liar. He mustn't be a liar. The ideal partner, the ideal husband or the ideal wife. The ideal husband must be loyal, successful, easygoing. The ideal husband isn't a bad person. The ideal husband isn't a traitor. The ideal husband isn't too strict. The ideal wife. The ideal wife loyal, nice, kind. The ideal wife isn't. The ideal wife is not. Is not wasteful. She isn't wasteful to waste the money of her husband. Now B, group work. Take turns describing your ideal people. Try to agree on the two most important qualities for a parent, for a father or mother, a friend and a partner. This is a group work conversation, a dialogue between you and your friend. A, I think the ideal parent is someone who is easygoing and who is easygoing and who is kind, nice and generous. I agree. The ideal parent is someone that doesn't get upset easily and who is not temperamental, is not moody. Oh, I am not sure. I agree. And then you continue. Exercise number 7. Writing about a best friend. Now, look at the picture here. What do you see? Two young ladies and one of them is laughing. Look at the picture here. What do you see? Two young ladies and they are laughing, they're having fun, they're funny, they're talking. Where are they? They are in the street they walk, they hang out together, they walk next to the lake or the river. They see the sightseeings and the old buildings. So here, think about your best friend. Answer the question and write a paragraph. So here, you ask this question and answer it in your paragraph. What is your best friend like? How long have you been friends? For how long you and your best friend know each other? How did you meet? How are you similar? How are you different? Now here, this is like a paragraph. My best friend is someone who's friendly and easygoing. She's a reliable friend. She is very reliable. I can trust her or I can trust him. And someone who I can call anytime. I can call her at any time. We've been friends for about 5 years. For 5 years, we've been friends. But we didn't become friends right away. We didn't become friends right away. We took time, of course. So this is going to be homework. You write about your best friend, you answer these questions, and you write a paragraph. You can write more ideas about yourself and your friends. Then, you exchange paragraphs, you and your friends. How are your best friends similar or how are they different? Now that's the end of unit number 1, part 1, interchange 3, 4th edition. Homework number 1, answer 3 pages in the workbook. Interchange 1 workbook. Number 2, please, you have to keep the words by heart and study by heart. You have to study very hard this time. Try to listen more. You can watch the video of interchange related to Cambridge University. For more ideas, more games and exercises, go to www.cambridge.org/interchangearcade/. You will have wonderful, amazing exercises as games for grammar and for vocab. Finally, wish you like it, share it and subscribe. Wish you all good luck.